even though I don't have any kids right now, but I feel like as a mother, I would be like, that'd be a conversation in the car. Like, what is up with you, and why are you not making the effort to get to know my kids?
Welcome back to Duel Perspectives. I'm Diamond Simons.
And I'm Sami Iman.
If you are new to the channel, welcome.
And if you are returning, welcome. And if you have not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you like what you're going to see in this video, make sure you give us a like, comment. We definitely like interacting with you guys. So for April's book of the month, we are reading He Played Me by Miss LB.
This book follows Yazmin, a woman stuck in a loveless, sexless marriage, and she was looking for some attention. So first she found Nadia, who was running from an abusive relationship, and then she found Jay, a smooth, wealthy, good-looking man who wants to give her the world, but at a price.
When the three worlds collide, jealousy, betrayal, and manipulation ensues. So let's get into it. So... I want to say first and foremost that I feel like the book started off a little slow, but it started to pick up towards the middle and then on towards the end. Like the first few chapters, I was just kind of like, this is tough. But when it got towards the middle, about the time when she starts meeting Jay, is when it started to pick up a bit. So
I think the whole book through was pretty engaging for me. The very beginning.
Says the person who couldn't get past chapter 3 for like 3 weeks.
You know what? Okay, this is true. So I was stuck. I was like, to me, I'm reading. And I got to chapter 3 and I stopped reading. And then I was like, okay, I got to read this book before we film. So, so once I got past chapter 3, which even though I stopped at chapter 3, I thought it was still pretty, like you're getting to know Yazmin and her situation and how she felt stuck. And then she has this relationship with another woman, and that was just kind of like out of the usual for her. So that was pretty engaging, and then, but for the last of the book, I was able to read it straight on through. And I thought it was pretty good. It kept me wanting to read more and know more, even though some parts were pretty predictable. Okay, so I have to know. So tell me how you feel about Jay.
Oh, Jay. Jay. So there were a few things that I felt like were really confusing for me about him, right? Mm-hmm. So he has this whole persona of like how he treats women. Whereas like they're all the B words, they're all this, he uses them for manipulation, he dangles money in front of them, and it's just like, I can get you to do whatever I want, which he was doing with his wife and all the other little women that he has strung along in his life until supposedly he meets Yazmin. And I think what confuses me is because, and this might be an isolated situation, but like I knew few people, I won't put a number out there, it's quite a bit, but that were from the streets, right? And so having conversations with them, about, the way that they treat a woman that they don't have any respect for versus the way that they treat and talk about and talk to a person that they have respect for. Mm-hmm. And so from my experience with talking to these people is that if there's a woman that they have respect for, that they really like, and that they're like, man, this could be my woman, they're not going to call her a B word in private or with other people. Mm-hmm. Like they're going to like have the utmost respect and be like, that's my girl, that's, that's my woman, that's my, but they're not going to say that's my B, because they reserve that for women they don't have respect for, which I feel like all women should be respected, but that's the way that their logic is, right? Like if you're this kind of woman, I'm going to treat you like this kind of woman, but if you're this kind of woman, I'm not going to treat you like I would treat this type of woman, And so that was the stuff that was confusing for me, because it was like, oh, I really love this woman, I really like her, she's different from all the rest. I was like, but you're talking to her and you're treating her like she was the rest.
That might just be like a personal issue with him. Like he just doesn't know how to treat a woman.
Yeah.
Even though he has all these feelings for her, and he had some reservations about doing some of the things that he did with the other women with her.
Yeah.
He had reservations, but he still, when he gets mad, I think he just doesn't know how to treat a woman or how to handle his anger, and then he just goes off the deep end calling you all kinds of B's.
No, see, and I get that, but it wasn't when he was mad that he was still calling her B's, and or at least that's what the story was saying. Like she was still like, oh yeah, that's my B, or whatever. And it's like, if you really have feelings for her, like you say, why would you call her that?
Maybe she was the queen bee.
Maybe, but I know if I caught wind of that, I'd be like, I'm the what?
Oh, for sure.
Like I am not.
We're gonna leave this in story world and not real life. But it does say based on a true story, which is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That this is a true story. Like I would, man.
Oh yeah.
That guy.
The stuff that Yazmin went through. I mean, and she made some really poor decisions, and she didn't follow her intuition, which, ladies, you have intuition for a reason. Follow it, use it.
Yeah.
But she didn't follow that, and she saw what she wasn't getting in her marriage.
Right.
In Jay.
Yeah.
And because of that, she was just like, oh, the red flags, I'm just gonna ignore them, and I'm gonna keep moving forward, even though, like, had she, recognized the red flags and realized them for what they were, she would have never been in this situation.
But honestly, I don't think he gave her that many red flags. I think the only red flags was like her kids saying, I don't like this guy, or her dad saying, I think you're rushing this, I'm not feeling him. But I guess if you're trying to be like a strong woman and you're like, I'm going to make my own decisions and he's not doing anything to show me otherwise. I mean, yes, red flags, other people's opinions, but I think she was trying to get away from other people's opinions and make her own decision.
Yeah.
But even though intuitively she still knew something was up, but all he showed her was all good things for the most part.
But that's the thing, you have intuition for a reason.
That's true.
Follow
your intuition.
Yes, follow your intuition, follow your instincts, follow your gut. Your gut usually never takes you down the wrong path or whatever. But the thing about it is, like, if you have kids and your kids are saying, no, mom, there's something not right about this guy, that should be a big red flag.
Yeah.
So, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to bring you into my life with my kids,
you gotta get along with my kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a part where she went to her son's apartment
and he was sulking.
And he wouldn't come inside.
Yeah.
And he's just like, nah, I don't understand why you always gotta go. Okay, that is a red flag.
Yes.
You're right. I forgot about that. That's a red flag. It's
and
like,
then
you can't come in my son's apartment because you think I spend too much time babying him or mothering grown men. Like,
exactly.
This is my child.
And then when they did go inside, he didn't even speak. They didn't speak to each other. And I'm like, and even though I don't have any kids right now, but I feel like as a mother, I would be like, that'd be a conversation in the car. Like, what is up with you? And why are you not making the effort to get to know my kids?
Right,
because ultimately, no matter, when you have controlling people, the whole goal is to isolate you from the people that you love and you care about so that they can control and manipulate you and all of that. And I was like,
he was controlling.
He was controlling. At least he was trying to be, but she was a stronger woman, which I give her that, because she's like, well, you're not going to keep me from kids. You're not going to keep me from a dad, and everything like that. But, like, the whole goal is to isolate you from the people that you love so that they have ultimate control over you. And the fact that she was still like, I'm going to go see my kids and I'm going to see my dad and everything like that, caused problems with him. And, and my thing is, like, if there's ever a time when, you're with someone and that's what they're trying to do, and like, you recognize that because they're not trying to make an effort to, like, assimilate into your family already, then that's a huge red flag, and that's something you should be like, say, bruh, like this is not okay.
Like, these are my priorities. You need to get with it or get gone.
Right, exactly. And the fact that she was just kind of like, oh, you're annoying me because of this, but not making any actual real demands or, requiring change, like, so then you set yourself up for what happened afterwards,
Yeah. But still, he had some deeps. Like,
Oh yeah.
when everything became revealed to her, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
Ugh. And then the ending, I don't know, they didn't say if it was him in the end or someone else, but I'm assuming that it was him. Or he had something to do with who did what they did to her.
Well, you know, he had a business partner.
Oh.
So it could have been the business partner, which she would have never known about because he did not bring her into his world. And so, like, she never knew about his son. She never knew about the whole wife he had over there. And until they went to the strip club, he didn't know about the whole mistress he had over there, too. You know?
I think she did know. I think going into the nightclub.
Going into the nightclub,
she probably knew about the mistress. That's why they did what they did at the nightclub.
Well,
because he found out the next day.
Yeah, he found out the next
day.
And
she already had all the evidence.
Yeah, so what that says to me is that going into the nightclub she knew about them, like they had already communicated before then. Yeah. But before that, because I don't think they were married at that point yet. Or they just got married at that point or something like that.
They were married.
When they went to the strip club, yeah. But before that, leading up to that, she didn't know about her. And so she's thinking that, oh, he's just here for me and he's, you know, my one and only. And, you know, even though she was whole married too.
Yeah.
And he had his issues, which he needed to take care of and, you know, which caused their demise. And so I feel like no one actually is good in this whole thing right now. Everybody's messed up.
It was a world of chaos.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about the book itself, physically? The way it was presented, the layout. I know Miss Writer over here does all the evaluations of the printing.
Yeah. So it's funny that she puts that on me because she was the first one to make a comment about the layout. Because
I mean, I could go first. You want me to go first?
No, you don't have to go first. I can speak my piece, and then you can come in and be like, yeah, that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like the layout was not great at all because it's pretty much like one long paragraph each chapter. I think it's centered too, which is not really easy for read. Like I feel like centered justification should be saved for like poetry and things of that nature. It shouldn't be used in novel form. Also, there was not a lot of dialogue, so I felt like you couldn't actually like put yourself in the story. You know, it's like she's recounting what's happening as if, you know, she's sitting across, like, girl, let me tell you what happened to Yazmin the other day, you know. But even in that type of dialogue, you can still say, but you know, but he said, and then she came back and said, you know what I mean? But you don't even really get that. It's like, here's how Jay thinks, this is what Yazmin thinks, and sometimes they're intertwined and you don't know who's thinking what. You know, I felt like they were just really jumbled together.
Yeah, so the way I saw it, when I first opened the book, I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
So I feel like, well, first off, there's no page numbers. I like page numbers.
Yeah, there's no page numbers.
And the chapter, like where it says chapter 1, chapter 2, was the same font, or not font, but same size as the whole paragraph on the page, but just bolded and underlined.
Yeah. And
it was kind of to the center, or to the right.
I think it was centered.
Was it centered?
It was centered.
Oh, okay. Well, it just looked funny because all it was a whole just paragraph. There was no distinction between paragraphs. It was just one page, boom, centered, and it was just kind of different to read it like that.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, you know, towards the end you get used to it because you're just used to it, but you shouldn't have to get used to it. It should be formatted a little different.
Yeah, there's formattings that you should definitely do as a writer, just more or less because it helps the reader, you know, to really be able to immerse themselves in the story. Because if you're looking at it and you're focused on how the font looks funny and you're trying to figure out what belongs to what, you can't really immerse yourself in the story. So as I always say, typesetting is necessary and it must be done. Editing and typesetting are absolutely necessary. Even though there wasn't, you know, any like real grammatical errors or anything in there, but the typesetting I felt like could be a lot better.
But
yeah.
when you get past that, it's a pretty easy read, and I think the story really keeps you engaged and wanting to know what happens. So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, we will leave a link in the description for where you can get this book. And then we're curious to see what you think about it. But let us know. We look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, we want to know what you think. So until next time in May, when we bring you the new book of the month, we will see you then. Bye, guys.
Bye.